In 5 minutes, you're going to understand UUIDs. We are going to talk about what is UUID, what are the usages of it, and we'll dive into the differences between the versions of UUIDs. If it's the first time you're visiting our channel, our goal with this channel is to simplify the backend world for you, so feel free to subscribe and watch our content. What is UUID? From Wikipedia, a universally unique identifier is a 128-bit label that is used for information in computer systems, also called globally unique identifier, GUID. Usually we talk about 32 characters, hexadecimal characters with 4 hyphens, as you can see here. The first part is 8 characters, the next 3 are 4, and the last one is 12. When we're talking about different versions of UUIDs, all of the versions creates the same template, as you can see here. What are the usages of UUIDs? The first one is database keys. When I first encountered UUIDs, I wanted to create a table and to expose a unique identifier for an entity to help the client to edit a specific entity inside my front-end browser. When I did a little research, I encountered 2 things: encoded IDs and UUIDs. And it was recommended to use UUIDs because it had less collisions. So in database keys, the UUID is used for as a unique identifier for an entity. The second place you may encounter UUID is inside COM. COM is Microsoft Component Object Model. It is a standard for OOP, Object-Oriented Programming, and the UUID in this case present classes. The third place you may encounter UUID is inside file system. File system is the system in your operation system that store files and handles files. It defines what is a file in this operation system, and a huge effort in these systems is to make sure that even if your computer crashes, your files are still updated, and even the changes you did until the last second will not be lost after the system crash. In this system crash, UUIDs is taking part in something called superblock inside your memory, and it is used to recover from crashes. The second, the COM and the file systems, we didn't dive into them, but if you want us to give more information and to make a video about it, just write us into the comments. UUID versions. We are going to talk about UUID 1, 3, 4, and 5. There are more versions, but these are the most significant ones. UUID 1 receives a timestamp and a MAC address. This means that if you are creating 2 UUIDs on the same computer and you are comparing the UUIDs that you received, some of the strings are going to be the same because it depends on the MAC address. This means that if you are creating a lot of UUIDs, you can recognize which UUID was generated on a specific machine. UUID 3 and 5 has the same input, and they're receiving a string input and a namespace. Namespace is usually a UUID that is generated before, and it presents a computer or a machine. The difference between the two are the hashing method. UUID 3 is using MD5 function, and UUID 5 is using SHA1 hashing method. You may ask yourself, why do we have UUID 3 and UUID 5? A few years ago, MD5 was found that it is not secure as it considered to be. So a lot of people left UUID 3 and started using UUID 5. A huge benefit of UUID 3 and UUID 5 is that it is consistent. In comparison to the UUID 1, to the first version, when you are entering the same string and the same namespace, you are going to receive the same UUID. When we are talking about the first version, it doesn't, it won't work that way, because you need to create the UUID on the same machine, and the timestamp may varies. So the benefit of consistent is preserved for the version 3 and 5. UUID 4, it doesn't receive any input, and it is totally random. It is also very popular nowadays, and these are the most significant versions. Let's say a word about collisions. As you can see here, there is a probability that you will have a collision. For example, in the first version, if you're creating millions of UUIDs on the same machine, you may have a collision. We will try to create the same UUID at the same timestamp, or when we are talking about the fourth version, you can randomly select the same UUID. But the probability of a collision is very low, so it's not considered an issue. But keep in your mind that it can happen to you when you are using UUIDs. Thank you, my friends. These were the versions, and if you find this video useful and you want to recommend to your friends, we will be glad to serve you. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It will help us to grow our community. Thank you very much.